So yeah, this video is going to be a follow-up to the competitive Mermail deck profile I put up a few days ago. This is just a bunch of test hands as well as a featured test hand in the beginning of this whole combo tutorial thing, just to show off some cool tech choices that I chose to play over some others and maybe some other deck profiles you've seen by other channels as of recently. So yep, also right here we have this really cool Diva celebratory 7,000 subscriber milestone enamel pin with, glitter and hard enamel, plus the engravings on the back for the channel name as well as the series run. This will be put up for sale in the next few days only on the Discord, so you better join. And if you don't like Discord, you can just join for like a couple days just to go join my server, just to be able to pick this up, and then you can quit. There's no mandatory to stay, it's just the place where I'm going to be putting these up. So anyways, this is the starting hand we're going to do. This is a competitive Mermail deck profile, trying to incorporate tons of hand traps as well as consistency to be able to do Halqifibrax Turbo. So the only proxy in the main deck will be this card, which will be Mega Phantom Beast O-Lion. Other than that, all of the other cards are represented by physical cards. So for this test hand, this is actually full combo, and I'll show you how. Because even if certain cards do get negated, they still, do the full combo. So we're going to start off by normal summoning Abyss Pike, using Abyss Pike's effect to discard the Dragoons for cost. If you get hand trapped here, Dragoons will just search Lapis Dragon, which will get you to Halqifibrax. But Pike will search for Deep Sea Minstrel, and then Dragoons will search for Neptibus. From here, we'll use Minstrel's effect, discarding the Neptibus for cost, to look at your opponent's hand and take a card out of it. Next, Neptibus' effect will activate, so we're summoning the Dragoons from our graveyard. We'll go ahead and overlay both of these for a Bahamut Shark, and use Bahamut Shark's effect, detaching a copy of Dragoons, to special summon a Totally Awesome from our field. This will let Dragoon's effect trigger because it was essentially graveyard to activate a water monster's effect. And from here we'll search for Lapis Dragon. And Lapis Dragon will special summon itself from your hand because you searched it. So essentially from here you have a negate as well as taking out a card from your opponent's hand. So not only does it play around Nibiru, it also kind of plays around hand traps because they can't really hand trap you because they'll start, losing the effects, because if their goal is to stop your plays, they have to stop the Halqifibrax, and they can't do that if you have a Totally Awesome, as well as taking something out with the Minstrel. So from here we'll go ahead and send our tuner plus our non-tuner off for Halqifibrax and use Halqifibrax's effect to special summon the Deskbot 001 from our deck. Let's link both of these two off. For a copy of Auroradon, which will summon 3 tokens out. Token 1, 2, 3, causing 001 to pop up. And use Auroradon's effect to treat itself plus 1 of our tokens to special summon an O-Lion from our main deck. We run 2 copies in case we open one. Just a fair warning. And from here we'll use a level 3 token plus our O-Lion token to go into a Garden Rose Maiden, which is a level 5 synchro monster. And we'll use this card's effect to supposed to summon out another token. From here we use Deskbot 001 plus our Garden Rose Maiden to supposed to summon out the Coral Dragon. And we'll use Coral Dragon plus a level 3 token to go into our Ravenous Crocosaur Arcadus. We use Crocosaur's artifact as Chainlink 1, Coral Dragon as Chainlink 2, so we can go ahead and draw 2 cards. And we can use our Garden Rose Maiden from our graveyard to banish itself to revive our Coral Dragon. So we can use this plus another token because Coral Dragon is a tuner to go into our other level 9, which is the mech. So we can go ahead and finish up overlaying these for our true King of all Calamities. So at the end of this combo, we have 2 hand traps, 8 Calamities, plus a Totally Awesome. Of course, this card will return to their hand during the end phase. And so you have a bunch of cards to finish up your combos the following turn. Now, because we did open the Dragoons, we actually aren't able to normal summon this copy of Dragoon Seed. Its effects, I do play less copies of Infantry because they are in the side deck. So I chose to play other extenders, superior extenders, over those cards. But the sole focus of this deck is to use Halqifibrax's effect, which is most of the time game winning. So being able to maximize the chances of opening that combo while playing through hand traps is the superior motive for this type of build. Now, by no way am I discounting the use of Abyss Megalo nor Deep Sea Aria, because those cards are really good together in a more pure water deck. And of course, as the meta develops and September rolls around where we have probably a future ban list, since that's probably when we'll have enough time to look at competitive physical events to make a better judgment on what cards to ban, even though we already have a better judgment, but you know how they work. So we just kind of have to be patient. But of course, Deep Sea Aria and stuff will pick up, and it might even be the superior Mermail build once the Halqifibrax stuff goes. This is our hand so far. We actually have Call by the Grave to stop a form of hand trap. Now, you could actually do two things here. You could use the Minstrel first, discarding the Teus, or we can just go the Neptibus route, which is probably the safer route. So we'll go ahead and do that by normal summoning the Neptibus using his effect. We'll send in Dragoons. To add a Dragoons, use Dragoons' effect to search for a Diva for follow play next turn. And we use Minstrel's effect, discarding the Dragoons. And Dragoons' effect, after Minstrel, of course, takes a card out of the opponent's hand. We'll search for a Lapis Dragon. And we'll search them that from our hand. And we'll send both of these to the graveyard, of course, to summon out the Halqifibrax, of which we'll supposed to summon out the Deskpod 001. And with 5 waters and grave, if it's all visible, we'll supposed to summon out the Mullen Glacia and to take out 2 more cards so far. And of course, if they try to hand trap us anywhere in between, we could use the Call by the Grave to stop an Ash Blossom, etc. So let's just continue the plays. I don't think I have to explain this again. Effect. Oh, yeah. From the main deck. Garden Rose Maiden. Token out. We'll use 001 plus our Garden Rose Maiden to go into a Coral Dragon. Use Coral Dragon plus a token. Go into Crocosaur, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Draw 2 cards. We'll revive the Coral Dragon using our Garden Rose Maiden's effect. And send both of these off for Vermilion Mac, overlay for Calamities. So this combo has a 2-card hand loop as well as a Floodgate, and we can set the Call by the Grave and pass turn to the opponent. And that is kind of what this deck does. A lot of meta decks lose to Calamities such as Eldlik, Emancipators, most rogue decks too, so Dinosaurs, Pendulum stuff, don't have to worry too much. Alright, so this hand's actually really cool. We're able to play around like 3 hand traps with this hand because 1, we can use Minstrel to discard the Dragoons to take out Nibiru. Then we can search for example, Mullen Glacia or Infantry. Normal summon the Infantry or Diva, and if they hand trap us with, say, Effect Veiler or something, you can use the Monster Reborn to revive the Effect Veiler, which is a tuner. So you're able to use the tuner plus Infantry or the tuner plus Diva, because you can use 2 tuners to go into Halqifibrax. And so that's how Monster Reborn allows us to play around an additional hand trap. It is a superior extender. So with this hand, we're going to use Minstrel's Effect, discarding itself plus the Dragoons to take a card from the opponent's hand. I don't think we needed to use this card unless we're going to drop Moon Glacier, which I believe are also going to do so. We're going to use Dragoons to search for the Moon Glacier. So yeah, we're going to summon it, so why not pop it out? To normal summon the Diva, use her effect to special summon the Prince from our deck. Use Prince's Effect to send Dragoons to add Dragoons. Dragoon's Effect, let's add the, not the Lapis Dragon, we can actually go ahead and add another Diva if we wanted to. Maybe, you know, say this is where Moon Glacier would be better. I mean, not Moon Glacier, but Megala would be better because you actually have 2 discard you can actually get the most advantage of course, but oh well. Yeah, we're not going to search the Diva, we're just going to actually search for the Minstrel, so we can use the Dragoon's search the following turn. So we're going to cut the deck. Let's go ahead and link both of those off. For Halqifibrax, use his effect to summon these deck spots 001 from your deck. And with 5 Waters Engrave, we'll summon the Moon Glacier from our hand, taking 2 additional cards. And we'll just do the standard play from here. It's just for the sake of making space, we'll put these in attack. Always put your tokens in defense. You don't want your opponent to attack over them and run through them. So just for the sake of this video, saving space, we're going to put them in attack, but always put them in defense. 001, Auroradon's effect. Attribute itself, so go ahead and move that up there. To summon an O-Lion from our main deck. Remember, O-Lion in defense, just doing this to save space. O-Lion plus a token to go into Garden Rose Maiden. And then use O-Lion's effect to summon another token out. Garden Rose Maiden plus Despot 001 for Coral Dragon plus a level 3 token. Arcadus, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, draw 2 cards. Nibiru plus Shathana, really good card, comboing off going first. Only reason why we play it, you can also summon this card from your hand if you get Nibiru, because non-effect monsters are tokens. So summon the Coral Dragon by banishing the Garden Rose Maiden, using both a Coral Dragon, which is a level 6 tuner, plus a token, to go into the Vermilion Mech, and we can use both of these to go into Calamities, and we can set the Monster Reborn to bluff if we didn't already use it to play around a 3rd hand trap. So that's this combo. You end up with a bunch of cards in hand to start your plays. You can use Minstrel plus the Dragoons to basically dump a bunch of stuff, and then go into Access Code or Soldier of Chaos to basically OTK. Another really cool hand. The only issue you really have to be afraid of with this type of build is if you open up 3 copies of Dragoons in your opening hand. That's because you won't be able to resolve your Ineptibus, but of course we play 4 copies of the Atlanteans minus the Prince in our deck, so we're still able to resolve our Prince. So we'll use Taste's effect to discard the Dragoons and go Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Taste will search for our only copy in our deck, our Abyss Pike, which, you know, triggers, you know, your Neptibuses plus your Dragoons itself. So this is our best card to initiate the Halqifibrax turbo combos. And we use Dragoons to search for the Diva. From here we can actually use Pike's effect with the Dragoons to normal summon stuff, but you will kind of have to link off your extra card into a Halqifibrax, I think, or an area. I'm not exactly entirely sure how that combo goes, but you know, you would normal summon Pike, discard this, go into the whole Bahamut Shark plus stuff, but you'll actually lock out your zones from the Auroradon, And so you will have to go into an additional link to like area. But I'm not actually entirely certain on that entire scheme of things. So I'm just going to play it safe and not normal summon the pike. But instead we'll normal summon the diva and do the pretty standard route. Summon out the prince. Prince's effect, 2 Cinder Goons. Add infantry. Dragoons' effect will search for Minstrel. Use Minstrel's effect, discarding our copy of Dragoons, to go ahead and search for Moon Glacier. Now, because you have 4 Waters Engrave here, you would of course want to link off the Prince. For a Link Karibo, so you're able to get the 5 Waters Engrave, but if you've seen my deck profile, I actually don't play the Link Karibo, and this is where the one hindrance does come from. Because we made room for the Bahamut Shark plus the Totally Awesome to have more powerful plays, and to ensure you win in case your board would attempt to be, you know, broken. But since we don't actually play that one copy of the Link Karibo, we're actually stuck with 4 or 6 Waters Engrave, which is of course a bad part on my end. So Moon Glacier is actually not that quite usable in this case, but no worries. We'll actually search for a Bis Pike with that hand, and a Neptibus. So we can use our Neptibus the following turn with our Pike to get the Bahamut Shark as our follow-up play. Sounds good? Sounds good. Go ahead and send these 2 off for our Halqifibrax. Use Halqifibrax's effect to special summon Desk Squad 001 from our deck. Just go ahead and move our O-Lion token up front just to make it easier. Auroradon summons 3 tokens. 001 revives itself. Auroradon uses effect to tribute itself plus a token to go into the O-Lion. This is where we'll shuffle our deck, so we'll get 2 draws from this combo. And we use the O-Lion plus a token. Send out the Garden Rose Maiden, and use O-Lion's effects by summoning out another token. 001 plus Garden Rose Coral Dragon. Coral Dragon plus a token. Go to the Crocodile Dragon, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Draw 2 cards. Use Garden Rose to revive the Coral Dragon by banishing herself. And lastly, synchro off both of these for the Vermilion Mech. Like I said, this combo also does break through your opponent's board because we have Coral Dragon plus Archer Dragon. Plus this just blow up like 3 cards. Even more if you have the infantry to discard, so it's a really good card. And combo should go second as well. Super versatile, very, very competitive. And we'll finish this off by using both of these to go into a Calamities. And actually, because we have the Monster Reborn, we can go ahead and use this to revive our 001 and use this plus the Teus to go into your Borreload Savage Dragon and equip the Aurora onto it. Where did I put all of my dice? Huh. Oh well. That's fine. We'll just use this to represent 3 counters because I can't find my tiny dice. So you actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in hand, which are 2 hand traps, a Calamities, plus a Savage Dragon, which is in pretty good hand if you ask me. So really pretty diva pen. Because of the dark playmat, it's, you know, messing with the lighting a bit, but there is a bunch of glitter effects and it's super cool. It'll be on the Discord, so you can just go up there to find it. Go ahead and push it out of our hand. It's a very consistent build. We haven't seen the Tinny Shathana yet, which is a bit disappointing, but so far we've been able to do the Halqifibrax combo with almost every single hand we have with the ability to play through several hand traps. So if I'm unable to get the Shathana hand or open up that card regularly for the last combo of this entire video, I will put it in my hand just to show you how that combo works, because it is a pretty large part, and not other builds using this kind of thing play that combo because they've chosen other means to act as an extender. If that makes any sense. I think it does. So, starting hand, 3, 4, 5. We actually opened the Lapis Dragon plus the Avarice. Oops, I just dropped a card from my hand. Okay. But this is, you know, of course, still full combo. You have the infantry to normal summon, but remember, if this does get stopped by an effect failure or an impermanence, you'll lose your effect to extra normal summon. So, and if we normal summon the Diva and this card gets hand trapped, we're kind of stuck here. Now, of course, if we had the Shithana in the first place, instead of, let's say, Lapis, we can just special summon the Shithana out, not have to worry about losing our normal summon and just normal summon out the Diva. Because, you know, just for example, let's go ahead and put the Avarice back. Really good card. Just to grab the Shithana, just to show you how it works. With this type of hand, you'd basically, instead of normal summoning the infantry and risk it getting hand trapped to lose your normal summon, you would use Shithana's effect to special summon this card out first, and then normal summon your Diva, so if this card does get hand trapped, you still have the tuner, plus an additional monster to go into the Halqifibrax. And that's basically how that combo works. So let's just hope to God that this does not get hand trapped. Normal summon the Diva, use her effect. Special summon out the Prince. Use Prince's effect to send Dragoons to add Dragoons. It's just moving stuff up to make things easier. Send Dragoons, add Dragoons, add Minstrel. Minstrel's effect, discarding the Dragoons to take a card out of the opponent's hand, and we'll search for the Moon Glacier. So pretty standard plays. There's not a whole lot of unique stuff this deck can do, unless you have, let's say, Monster Reborn as an extender. In that case, it just turbos out everything. 5 Artisan Grave, let's drop the Moon Glacier to the far zone. Take out 2 more cards. 3. And we'll use this plus the 001 to go into our Auroradon. Now, Avarice does not act as an extender here. Avarice is literally just here to act as a way to recover your extra deck plus your main deck to be able to do your plays again and again every single turn. Of course, you also draw into your hand traps, which is never a bad thing. So it's just a really good card to, basically recover all of your resources. And that's why I enjoy it. Of course, there's always the possibility of breaking, but like, what can I say? We have so many other cards to basically ensure that we don't break. That's honestly never too much of an issue in the first place. It's just 3 cards. But of course, if you open those 3 cards with, like, say, 2 Call by the Graves, it's going to break. But what can you do to prevent that? It's just a bad case of breaking. I mean, we already run 3 copies of Neptibus, 3 copies of Diva, 3 copies of a whole bunch of other tuners, plus free special summons, because Tinny Shithana plus a hand trap is full combo. But, you never know. So from here, we'll use the Avarice to shuffle back in our Auroradon, Deskbot 001. We already have a second Halqifibrax in there, so we'll keep that out here. Instead, we'll put back both copies of Dragoons. We already have an O-Lion in the deck, but we don't want to draw it, so let's go ahead and put back the O-Lion as well. So 4 cards in there, 1 card into the extra, and we'll draw 2. Now, of course, you don't have to use the Avarice turn 1. You could wait until your second turn to use the Avarice in case you want to shuffle back, let's say, the Crocodragon or something that you detach off of the Calamities. So you can go ahead and summon that using your O-Lion token, or O-Lion plus a Teus, or Diva plus a Teus to help DK. So we'll draw 2 cards, which is a Nibiru plus another Avarice, which is pretty good, but we're not going to use the second Avarice here because we want to keep it to put these cards back into the extra deck. So from here, we have a lot of cards in hand, so we'll just set the Avarice because we don't want to discard cards from our hand and lose card advantage. So for our final test hand, I am going to put the Shithana plus Dragoons combo. We've already showed the Dragoons plus the Abyss Pike with the what's it called? Bahamut Shark combo, which, you know, puts a lot of extra force and follow-up plays onto the board. But I just want to show you the Chthana plus the Dragoons. Hopefully we open it in this hand. Okay, we don't. But of course we also have full combo here. So let's go ahead and put something back to put the Chthana in our hand. And this will show you how this is also full combo with Dragoons. Also with Monster Reborn, of course, plays around a hand trap, so that's never a bad thing. So to start this off, we're going to special summon the Chthana from our hand because we control no effect monsters. And we're going to normal summon our copy of Dragoons. This is where Dragoons plus Imagery is not Halqifibrax combo, but Dragoons plus Titini Chthana is Halqifibrax combo. So we'll overlay both of these cards for our Bahamut Shark. We'll use Bahamut Shark's effect detaching the Dragoons. If you get Veilered here, you still have full combo because, of course, this summons out the Lapis Dragon. And if they have Nibiru, you're going to summon Totally Awesome before your 5th summon, so it still plays around it anyways. So, detach Dragoons, summon the Totally Awesome. Use Dragoons' effect to search for the Lapis Dragon. And of course, this doesn't use up all of your copies of Dragoons, meaning you're able to normal summon your Depot or your Prince next turn and get the full effect of it, etc. So we'll search the Lapis Dragon, special summon the Lapis Dragon, use Lapis Dragon plus Bahamut Shark to go into the Halqifibrax. Using Halqifibrax as a effect to special summon out the Deskpod 001 and use 001 plus the Halqifibrax, putting 5 waters in the grave if you do have the Moon Glacia 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it even still plays around Nibiru, so it's like it's still a win-win. That's why I like this type of playing with this deck. Not yet. Sorry. 3 tokens first. Getting ahead of myself. 001, tribute a token plus the Auroradon for the O-Lion. Send those for Garden Rose, special a token. Send both of these to the graveyard for Coral Dragon plus this. For Crocodile Dragon, let's go ahead and just give this another shuffle. Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, draw 2 cards. Hand Trap plus Moon Glacia. Pretty good. If we had a Pot of Avarice, we could drop the Moon Glacia, but that is totally fine. Provide this by banishing. Send this plus the token. Go into our Vermilion Mech. And finish this off with a Calamities. So that's basically the combo. 2 copies of O-Line, really good, in case you break with 1. Of course, you draw 2, it kind of sucks. But what can you do? I mean, if you had a Link Cross in the extra deck, you'd be able to play around it. But that takes up way too many extra deck spots. And I really like the Chthana plus the Bahamut Shark combos because it just adds so much versatility to the deck to play around cane traps if you break with other cards. So I hope you enjoyed this Titan video and I answered some of your questions you had about the main deck. Of course, you know, there are some cuts to the main deck, but that's just because of the current metagame. In order for Water to survive, we kind of have to mold to specific strategies. And so in the future, it's definitely very, very likely for Aria plus Megala to become part of the superior Mermail build. But right now, the Halqifibrax Turbo is kind of the best way to play Water and fully use Minstrel's effect to dodge Nibiru. I mean, you can always not dodge Nibiru without using Minstrel with, you know, the Bahamut Shark, but that is the way that we have been able to do it as of recently.